Good morning and welcome to Monday Mercy. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of remembering God's mercy, of literally remembering it, and how actually when we remember God's mercy, it empowers us to look forward to a future and be confident that God will be merciful to us again. And to do that, I want to read from a really desperate psalm actually. It's Psalm 77, and the psalmist is crying out in desperation to God. Feels completely desolate and deserted. It says in verse 7, will the Lord reject forever? Will he never show his favour again? Has his unfailing love vanished for all time? Has his promise failed? Has God forgotten to be merciful? Has he, in his anger, has he withheld his compassion? Then I thought, says the psalmist, to this I will appeal. The years when the Most High stretched out his right hand, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will consider all your works and meditate on all your mighty deeds. Remembering is a powerful force for change in our lives. In fact, actually, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the author, not in the Bible, says that it's not so much about what happens to us in our lives, but more about what we remember and how we remember it. And we can think about remembering as something quite nostalgic, or just as we reminisce and we think about times gone by, we can think about it as something quite sappy or even weak or perhaps emotional, as we just look through a photo album and we look back and we reminisce and remember. But actually, the Bible tells us that remembering is something much more powerful. It's why the book of Deuteronomy is full with instructions from the Lord that we must remember his mighty deeds. And actually, remembering is something more like in Ezekiel 37, in the valley of dry bones, as the Spirit of God comes and as bones come onto flesh and as bodies and skeletons get resurrected. Remembering is part of resurrection life. And the way we know that is the clue is in the word, remember. If we can think about our memories as like a body of disparate limbs that have become disconnected, the way in which we choose to understand and join the dots of what has happened in our lives resurrects a skeleton of belonging that we remember, literally reconnect different limbs of occasions that God has come through for us, has been merciful and miraculous in our lives. And that body that we remember, that body of memories, actually gives us power to look forward and forecast his goodness. I don't know about you, but I often have what Anne Voskamp refers to as God Alzheimer's. I can completely fail to remember the many, many times that God has shown me mercy and shown my family faithfulness in the past. It's almost as if I completely forget where I live, who I am, and who I belong to. And when we have this God Alzheimer's, when we fail to remember his mercy and his faithfulness, the effect that that has in our lives and in the lives of the people around us is that we actually fail to forecast his goodness. If we don't remember what's gone before, we fail to see and to expect what will come next. We fail to expect that he will be merciful again and that he will be faithful again. And that's why Psalm 77, I think, is so powerful, because in the most desperate of moments, the most desolate of moments, as the psalmist is crying out to God and saying, have you forgotten me? Have you forgotten to be merciful? Have you forgotten to be compassionate towards me? It's only as he begins to recall and remember the miracles that have come in his past, the many times that God has been faithful to him. It's only then that he can be raised in faith and forecast the goodness of God in his life moving forwards. You see, God cannot forget to be merciful to you. The only thing that God ever chooses to forget is your sin. He chooses to remember your sin no more, but he remembers to be merciful, compassionate, and faithful always. And the only question is, will we remember the mercy, the faithfulness of God And will we be established in faith to allow those memories, that body, that remembering, the skeleton of our lives, the kindness, the faithfulness of God, how it is joined together year in, year out. It's only then that we become like this psalmist, established in faith, and to forecast the goodness and the faithfulness of God moving forwards.